Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Cookies. My name is Lindsay and you are watching the best show. I need to work on that transition. I need to So Coffee and Cookies is about life and leadership, parenting, positivity, and tangents that we get from you. So if you'd like to be part of our tangent conversations, go ahead and jump over to Facebook and YouTube and get in those comments and you can derail our conversations. In the best way possible. We're so excited that you're with us today. Good morning, Nick. How are you doing?
Good morning, Lindsay. You know, I really didn't know how your opener would go. Because, okay, so here we go, people. Are you ready for this? I'm going to mimic Lindsay right before we start.
Wow. Just sharing all my secrets, huh?
And then it was like a switch. Bam! It was like Lindsay, here she comes, rolling through. Yeah. There we go. Let's go little split of the screen action here. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing how well women can do that at times. Ooh, I'm going to get some growliness in the comments. So if you're joining us, Good morning. Thank you for coming and joining us on the Coffee and Cookies morning show. My name is Nick. And if you're here, let us know that you're here by commenting and or liking the video. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, you definitely have to comment because that's the only way YouTube lets us know that you're here. Yes. If you're listening on the podcast, well, come on over to Facebook and You of the Tube so you can be part of the conversation.
Yes, we go live every morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Come join us.
Unless the kids are sick.
Yes, or it's a holiday.
Holiday.
We have a few things that come up.
We are parents. We do have things that come up.
But that's also a choice. We are choosing to be a part of our kids' lives. Like that is a priority in our lives. So we're not going to tell them that, work is more important than them. So
no growling, just Steve and I.
Their lives.
Well, kids are kind of important.
Just kind of.
Kind of. I mean, they're the next generation. So, they're kind of important. Kind of. Not absolute, but kind of.
Just a little bit.
So Lindsay, did you make an executive decision?
About
topics today? Are we doing the family thing? Or are we getting a recap last night?
I am not prepped on either of those links. So I'm thinking.
We're going to talk about last night. Mm-hmm. So yesterday, we left the office early. Yesterday, your husband left the office early.
Yes. I actually didn't even get the big 3 put up until this morning. So
that's why you were so ferocious to get into the office and you were like huddled behind your desk as you went to work.
I got work to do. So, hey, don't forget to go put your big 3 in. It's just below this post right here on Facebook. So,
Did you put your big 3 in yet?
No, I've been working.
So yesterday we get to go clean a house that's almost ready for sale. So close. So close. And on the way home, we just had this amazing conversation. Well, so one, we went and we visited the Lancasters over at Lancaster Manor, which is in Gainesville, which is a
little B&B. It's super cute.
Super gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Like if you like old timey antique
like
stuff.
You step back into time when you step into their house.
You do. It reminded me of my grandfather's mansion. Mm-hmm. Like the carpet, the seats, the couches, a lot of that from the very early 1900s.
Yes. And then you have the modern luxuries of like the pool and the jacuzzi tub.
And air conditioning.
And air conditioning.
Modern luxury of air conditioning.
You forgot your mic
air
on
conditioning.
That one.
We love our air conditioning down here in Texas.
Yes. So, yes, we got to visit them because they were so gracious and let us borrow some tools.
They did. They were so nice. Yes, so nice.
So thankful.
But that did spark a conversation on the drive home. Mm-hmm. So the Lancasters started at Elevate Life Church, and they're no longer part of Elevate Life Church. Mm-hmm. One, they're in Gainesville, and Elevate Life isn't Prosper, so I get that drive. But
Frisco,
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for correcting me and making me better. But they're a part of another church now, right? And that sparked a whole conversation of are you in the right house? And when I say that, I'm asking, like, are you in the right church? And there's a lot of different, and here we go, right? Let's just take this and let's just blow this right out of the water. Are you in the right church? Are you in the right synagogue? Are you in the right mosque? Are you in the right temple? Like, but are you in, doesn't matter what religion you are you in the right quote unquote house, right? So what, or the right building, right? And the reason why this came up is when people move from church to church or synagogue to synagogue or whatever religious institution to whatever religious institution, sometimes it's when they don't always leave on either a good note or they don't know how to communicate that they're going to leave,
right?
Or they don't know how to communicate to their friends and family why they're leaving. And that brought up the conversation of, well, and I'm going to hop right to the end, and then we're going to work our way backwards in that conversation, okay?
Okay.
If you leave, one, you should always leave on a good note, okay? You don't leave and go speak negatively about the leadership of whomever or wherever you left, okay? Why? Here's my why behind it. That's just bad juju. Okay. That's just bad on you. Okay. If you left, then you leave, but understand you need to make sure that you put up that you have the positive that goes with it. Okay. I have left many churches. Okay. I used to church hop. Amber and I, honestly, for almost the first year of our marriage, we were church hopping, just trying to find the right family to be in, to be around, right? And I thought I'd found a couple different churches, but then as we started getting into more involved with those families that were in there, we realized that we just didn't resonate with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. That church and the families that were there were moving in one direction, and my wife and I, we were looking for something that was moving in a different direction.
Yep.
Now, here we go. That's one thing that Christianity has actually done quite well. You have a lot of different denominations, which has allowed a lot of different individuals to praise and worship God the way they feel in their heart they want to praise and worship God. There's not a right way or a wrong way unless you're just taking the Bible and tossing it right out the window to do this.
Right.
So where this is coming from is just like when you leave a job, okay? You don't need to go back and bash the job. You left. If you chose to leave, you left because something wasn't resonating. Okay. And when it doesn't resonate, it's better for you to just walk away than try to stay in that atmosphere where you're not resonating with the people around you. And then you start to create this negative atmosphere around you and you're not even meaning to.
I would even take that a step further. Like, I think you're focusing on the negative aspect of it, and there's other sides of it. Like, maybe you're not supposed to stay in that house because your next is from somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be you're not resonating with them. Maybe you do resonate with those people, and that's why you don't want to leave, which could sour that. But if you keep your, if you're in tune with God and what he's wanting to teach you next, maybe it's not from that house. Maybe it's from a different house.
Very good point. Very good point. And if you're not listening, right, to God, then you're going to stay somewhere where you can't continue to grow. And doing so, you will move from that growth mindset to a fixed mindset. And I think it's so easy to do. It's so easy to stop that growth mindset. It's so easy to take your foot off the gas and coast a little bit. It's just, you have to understand when you're coasting, you're also slowing down.
So I have friends, and they they were a part of a church family for many, many years, and they helped with singing and the production side of it, the lights and the sound and all these things, and loved the family, loved the church family, loved being a part of it, loved being involved. And yet the leadership wasn't open to growth. Like, let's make this better. Let's make this so, and that was so hard for them because they're like, we need to get people in here. We need to share God's love. We need to do all these things. And we can't do that without growing. We can't do that without adjusting as we do this. So, that was their cue of like, okay, we need to find a new house that we can grow in, that we can help grow, that isn't going to be stuck in its own way. Well,
and maybe, so one, good morning, Dad. Another one, good morning, sweet wife. Not even stuck. Okay, let's take that a step further, right? Maybe God called that leadership to grow to a certain point, and that was where God asked them to stop. But this other couple that you're speaking of, God has called them in a new direction, right? So God's like, great, hey, good job. You got up to here, right? You're now level with them. Now I need for you to continue to grow. Okay. I need you to step away. Case in point, okay? As a employer, okay, I've had people come into my life. We've elevated them to a certain point, and then God's like, hey, great job, Nick. Great job, Lindsay. I need to now take this individual and have them grow another direction, right? Like, it's okay. Hear me on this. If you're in any kind of leadership, church, parenting, whatever, okay, business, sometimes you're just the stepping stone, and that's okay. It's okay for you to be that helping people level up to where you're at, and then God's going to pull them in a different direction. And here we go. You ready for this? When that happens, the issue that I'm starting to see here is that people aren't communicating. Hey.
They don't know how to break up.
They don't know how to break up. If you want to learn how to break up,
don't know how to
come
break
talk
up
to
with their
Nick.
church.
Come talk to Nick. I'll teach you how to break up. And have a great friendship afterwards. You're like, why do you do that? I'm really good at it. There's one person I have not broken up with, and that's my wife. That is not going to happen.
I appreciate that you haven't done that. Thank you.
That is not allowed to happen. She will hunt me down.
Man. Yeah. So something that our church says is that, sometimes that people are in your life either for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's any different for businesses or, business relationships or even church relationships. So just keeping that in mind, like that phrase there shifted how I think about relationships. And it wasn't as like, it wasn't so hurtful of like, oh, we're not a part of each other's lives. No, it was a season. It was
a season.
A reason. Like, did I learn something from them? Did they learn something from me? That's all that was needed. Okay, let's move forward. Let's, maybe God has a better relationship for me out there that I can pour into.
Not even a better relationship. Okay. Because now what you're doing is you're comparing where you were, the person, this individual, this group of people, this institution leveled you up. And now you're pivoting. Okay. Now you're changing direction. It's not that one is better than the other.
Sure.
You never would have gotten to that point had those people not been in your life in the first place.
That's true. Yes.
Right. So now it's, oh, thank you. God has you going this way. God has asked me to go this way. And here we go. You ready? You ready for this? Maybe, Amber, yes, I am your mess, and I'm so proud of it, okay? but let's speak to an audience that is not faith-based, okay? Let's go down this direction because some people are like, I don't hear from God, or I don't believe in God, or whatever. Okay. When you get that feeling within you that says, hey, I'm ready. I feel it within me. I'm ready to move in a different direction. Okay. Then that's great. But have that conversation.
Communicate. So hard to do these days.
I'm not saying it always has to be, oh, God spoke to you and said this. No, when you've been in a place for a certain amount of time, you're like, hey, you want to know what? I'm ready to move to that next level. And I'm looking at what's going on around me and I'm seeing, okay, these guys enjoy being here. That's great for them. They're going in that direction. You want to know what? I want to go that way instead. Well, hey, Mr. Miss So-and-so or whomever the leadership is, thank you guys for bringing me up to this point. I'm going to go over here now. I would love to have your blessing on this. I would love to I hope we get to, come back and meet up again and share stories and be friends and do all that. But thank you. Right. And I think go ahead.
I think that's important. Having that mindset is all about your perspective and what lenses you're looking through, because it's very easy to go from, I'm thankful for getting me to this point or that we could go to this point together. And now I'm going to pivot and shift directions. Pivot. We need a book called Pivot.
We need a book called Pivot. I'm serious. I have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have these 8 buttons right here, and I need to program one of these buttons. I don't know what a button is.
To Ross's voice of
a pivot. Yep, absolutely. But that, and there we go, right? I think people get nervous.
Yes.
People get very nervous. Oh, my life is going in a different direction. How do I go speak to these individuals? And if you're on the receiving end, how do I, you have to be receptive that if this person has a feeling or God has spoken to them and is moving them in a different direction, then you need to be open, because if God is going to move that person out of your life, it's only so he can make room to bring someone else back in, to bring someone else in, not back in, to bring someone else in. Okay.
Well, maybe back in.
Sure. I just don't want to always think like it's always someone from the past.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you have a limited amount of time. You have a limited amount of energy. You have a limited amount of capacity. Okay. And if you're always pouring into the same person, all right, but God wants you to pour into someone else, he might need to move someone out of the way to create margin to bring someone else in. And you have to be open to that. So, and I think that's what I really enjoyed about our conversation in the car, so we were driving back from Gainesville to Prosper. That's about an hour drive. And this was the topic we were talking about was, when people leave the church, or when people leave relationships, or when families move in different directions, or like, how do you do it respectfully? How do you do it honorably? Right? Because the way this should go, right? And this is one of the things I love about our church. When I'm inside of our church, when I'm inside that house, there are so many people who think like me. Okay. There's so many people that want to have a growth mindset. There's so many people that want not just greatness for them, they want greatness for you. Right. I know there are multiple marketing agencies within our church, and I'm sitting down and I'm sharing ideas, or sharing ideas with me. Like, it's a community. Right. And this is the best part. When you're in a community like that and you step out of that house, you immediately realize how small your community is. Okay. That growth mindset that happens inside that building that Pastor Keith is trying to cultivate. Incubate, cultivate within that house. The very second you get outside the house, you realize how rare it is.
Yes.
Okay. And there we go. So let's go down this direction. When you're looking for a pastor, or you're looking for someone to help you with your leadership, or anything of that nature, someone to follow, okay? Whom are you following?
Yes.
What does that pastor have? What does that mentor have? What does that coach have? What lifestyle do they have? What are you learning from them? Okay, Pastor Keith, I just watched you. Like, it was like, I saw you do it, and then I watched it there.
I felt so short on the video.
So with me personally, I want to be a better leader. I want to be a better father. Okay. So one of the big things that resonates with me and Pastor Keith is I see him as a leader. He is a successful father. He is also a successful grandfather. Right. So I'm like, oh yes, I can follow the guy outside of the religious part. Outside of him being a pastor,
right?
There is proof in his strategy. There's proof in the way he lives his life. And I go, I want some of that. Okay. Now, there are other pastors that maybe like, hey, maybe one pastor is a bit more positive than Pastor Keith. Maybe one is more loving than Pastor Keith, right? But you have to figure out what you're trying to grow within yourself and then go find a church, a synagogue, a coach, a whatever, religious or not religious, that will help you level up those areas that you want to level up in.
Yes. So that's a great point. So when I was in college, I was a part of a church, and it was called Young Church, because it was actually started by teenagers and a pastor. So they called it Young Church, and they changed their name eventually. But when I was getting ready to pivot and change, like it was pulling away from how much I was involved. And one of the mentors, one of the leaders was like, we need to just have a conversation. And I remember sitting with him and saying, you know, I look at your life and it's not what I want. And it's not that you have a bad life, but that's not what I want for my life.
Oh, I love it.
Know,
like, just I'm body slamming it.
I'm not known for my sugarcoating, actually. Like, that's just not me.
Oh my goodness. That was hilarious. Thank you for that.
There's times where I'm like, I could have probably phrased that a little bit nicer. That probably came out harsher than I meant it. I'm so sorry, but.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Lindsay. I needed that laugh. Laugh. That was good.
Anytime.
Makes for a great story now.
But, you know, he was like, that's okay. That's okay. It's okay
Absolutely.
that you don't want my life. My life is not for everybody. It's for me. And God has a great life planned for you. So it was like, it was my first introduction to a good breakup.
There you go. It's so, but that, Lindsay, you and your sugarcoating. We need
to work on it.
It's not even the sugarcoating. It's more of the articulation.
You know, that's so funny because I'm pretty proud of my articulation. Articulation is how well you say something without accents and all these things.
Sure.
How you pronunciate.
So there was I went to Hawaii for a weekend. And while we were there, one of my old friends, and I think we've downgraded from friends to more of acquaintances now, just because of life changes. His name is Ben Warren, and I maybe talk to him maybe once every 3 years now. But I went to Hawaii to visit with him and some leaders, and we were sitting around. We were sitting around the lobby of a hotel. And at that point in time, I was currently active duty in, hi, the boss lady has arrived. Hello. I was active duty and I was enlisted and I was really considering becoming an officer.
Yes. I remember this story.
And he said so his name is Scott Harimoto. Okay. And I know that's not a made up name. You can go look at himself. Very, very, very affluent, very great businessman. And he said, look at the people who are in the position that you're wanting to be in, and do they have the lifestyle you want?
Yeah.
It made such an impact on me. I can remember where I was, what I was doing, physically where I was, and just being like, without one sentence, he changed the course of my life.
Yeah.
And understand how he changed the course of my life. What he said didn't move anything right then and there. But what he said opened my eyes.
It changed how you see it.
It changed my perspective. So when I go back to my unit and I start looking at these officers and I start looking at the people around me, I very quickly understood that's not the life that I want. Now, just because it's not the life that I want doesn't mean the life that other officers want. I mean, there's amazing people that serve in our military. Thank you. If you're watching right now, thank you for serving in our military. Thank you for being a veteran. I'm not saying don't do it, okay? And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying what he did is he opened my eyes to it. Some people go and they become officers and they have a great life after that, right? Some people are lifers.
Yep.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Just that's what opened my eyes to the direction that I want to take my life. Now take that a step further, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're looking at an influential person, someone who is influencing your life, do they have the lifestyle you want? And when I'm talking about this, okay, I'm talking about the mental, the physical, the spiritual, okay? Do they have the attitude that you want to emulate? And if they don't, or maybe they have one but not the other, maybe they're a very positive person, but they're broke all the time. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, great. I can learn positivity from this individual, but I'm not going to take financial advice from this individual.
Right.
Right. Or maybe you look at a very wealthy individual and you have them as a mentor and they're like, oh, great, for making money, they're great. But you want to know what? They really don't have their life in check. Like their kids don't respect them. They never get to see their family. Like, I don't know if I could follow that part, but I can take this nugget, right? And then me within myself, because I know what's important. I have my core values. I know what I need to do, but I can take bits and pieces from here and there and start to formulate my own plan. So it's not a I'm following this person, therefore I'm going to take everything from them.
Right.
I'm choosing to follow this person. I'm choosing to listen to this person because they have something in their world that I want, so I can be better and grow.
Yeah.
Because and hear me on this. Is it selfish? Absolutely. Because the more you grow, the more I grow, the more we grow, the better we can be for the next generation. Okay? So yes, I want you to be selfish in this. I want you to look to leaders and spend time with them and invest in yourself. Because that's how you're going to be a better leader, because believe it or not, someone's watching you. Okay? Someone is absolutely watching you. They're watching you at work, they're watching you at home, and they're watching the way you live, they're watching the way you interact with people. And believe it or not, you're influencing them and you're impacting them.
Did anybody else hear Roz's voice from Monsters Incorporated? I'm always watching Wazowski.
You want to know what we needed to get? You want forget the audio part.
Right.
We need to be able to like click a button and have these little images pop into the feed of the pivot. And then, because this multiple times have we said this now. Okay, so hold on. We're going to go back to the comments real quick. Matt's asking, a position title doesn't show. Ooh.
Well, finish it, because people that are in the podcast can't understand.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and read it.
A position title still doesn't show how the person or their life is a template for everyone, though. You can still be a better person and have a better life in a position that you still want. Nick's thinking. Matt, you got his wheels turning.
Okay, Matt, I hear what you're saying. When I was in the military, I was hanging out with these officers. I knew these officers' lives. I understood I knew we did life in that military unit that I'm talking about. We did life together. Okay. Like I knew their wives. I knew their girlfriends. They knew who I was dating at that point in time. We trained together. We lived together. Like like we knew each other very, very well. You had to, when you're arming up and you're going out and you're doing boarding actions, you need to know, you need to know who's on your team and understand how they operate. Okay. And how they think and what they're capable of. And so when I'm talking about this, yes, you're right on the title part. Okay. But when I'm talking about that, and thank you for allowing me to explain this a little bit further. I knew these individuals. Okay. When I look at the CFO of a certain company that I used to work for, and I saw how much time he got to spend with his kids, and I heard the dialogue. Okay. And I go, oh my goodness, he's very financially successful, but
that's not the family life I want.
That's not the family life I want. So yes, you can absolutely look at the title, right? And you can take that positive. You can have the life that you want, but
And again, that's one perspective.
That's
one
absolutely.
That's one officer unit. That's one CFO. Not everybody is going to have that same lifestyle. Maybe they've figured out how to have that balance. Maybe they figured out how to do it well.
No. You ready? You ready? Maybe it's not even well. Maybe it's not even balanced. That's their priority. Okay? That's their priority. They've established that that's their priority, right? So that's why they're living their life that way.
That's good. Our kids are our priority. That's why we're not on sometimes in the mornings.
And there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Right? Now, does that mean that a parent that works a lot is a bad parent? No, I'm not saying that.
Different priorities.
You have a different priority. And when you understand that, you can take the judgment off of others. I don't judge you now because you want to know what? That's your priorities. That's the way you're wired. That's what you've chosen. That's how you've chosen to have your priorities. And now that I understand that you've chosen that, I don't need to judge you. Okay? When you can start to take that off of your shoulders and take that off of the other individual's shoulders, that judgment starts to fall away. You're choosing. Great. I'm glad that works for you. That's not what I want, but that works for you. I'm almost done. I have no doubt people judge me because they say, you don't work hard enough. You don't work hard enough. You spend too much time with your family. What do you mean you leave at 3:30 in the afternoon to go home and spend time with your girls? That's not working correctly.
It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Oh yeah, girl, I've heard that. Okay, but what it is, and understand, like, I know this because people have flat out told me this. I'm not making this up. Like, I literally had an employer say, that's not acceptable. You need to be at your desk.
How dare you come in early so you can leave early?
How dare you? Oh my gosh. How dare you come in early so you can leave early? Like, seriously. Oh, so sorry. Tangent. But what I'm getting at, is there a wrong? No, there's a priority. That individual that said, how dare you get here early so you can leave early, the priority was not family to that individual.
Right.
That priority was, did you sit at that desk to 4 o'clock? That was his priority. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with it. This was my priority, and that's why I no longer work there.
Who were we talking to? Was it Troy that we had on the guest, and it was about the alignments, or was it...
I have no idea where you're going right now.
He said one of the biggest reasons that, you don't do well in a company is because your values don't align.
Ooh, that was Troy. Yes, it was.
With the company's values. So
yes.
Before you take a job, do your values or your priorities align with their priorities?
Correct. Right? Like, and it's so funny, which on that note, Troy got hired by another company.
Whoop, whoop.
He got pulled.
So excited
great.
for him.
I know. Awesome for him. Great man. But that is a great point, right? Like, what are your priorities? Do they align with the current work priorities? And you as the individual need to make that decision. There is an actual global shortage of workers right now. I'm not even trying to find a job, and I've had 3 calls within the last week. And I tell them, I own my own business. I'm really happy right now. Thank you for your time. Goodbye. Right? I have no desire to go back into that. But there's a global shortage. And if you're looking at a job right now, you can go look online and you will see there's a lot of work from home right now. There's a lot of hybrid right now, 2 or 3 days in the office, 2 or 3 days at home. Right. And what it is, it's the workforce that is demanding now, we want time with our families. It's funny. I was reading, and this quote this dialogue came through that said, "Hey, America, I want you to go get a degree and get super in debt getting your degree. And then I want you to go find a job and put 40 hours a week into that job. And then I wanted you to go buy an expensive car that the job's going to pay for, that you're going to drive to and back sitting in traffic. And then I want you to take out a 30-year mortgage, the largest mortgage you can. and put yourself farther in debt. And by the way, that mortgage is going to pay for a house that you're barely going to spend any time in.
Because you're going to be in the office.
Because you're always going to be in the office to pay off for the expensive car and to pay for the expensive house you just bought. And it racked my brain. I was like, oh my goodness, that's exactly what we're teaching people.
Yes.
That's exactly what we're teaching people. And now the workforce is coming up going, you want to know what? I hear that. I spend all this time at work when I'm spending all this money on this house. Well, I can work from home now. Technology allows me to work from home now. So let's start changing things. Oh, and you're not going to allow me to? I got 500 other companies out here that say it's okay.
Yep.
I could work remote. So just that thing blew my. Oh, back to the comments. Ooh, Matt, that's good. I'm going to quote Matt here real quick, and I might nick a phrase it a little bit, okay? Always be learning. From others, you can always learn what you do, what you do want to be like, and also what you don't agree with, so you know not to do it, right? You don't have to be negative about others. Some things work out for others that won't work for you. Work on you, be better you. And I love that. I'm going to read that last part, because that's the last part. The last part is what spoke to me the most. You don't have to be negative about others. Some things work out for others that won't work for you. I think a lot of people struggle with that. Mm-hmm. That strategy, marketing. We're in marketing, right? Well, what works for one of our interior design clients is not going to work for one of our healthcare clients.
Right.
It's very different. Like that is so good, Matt, because a lot of people are like, oh, that didn't work for me. Oh, I failed. Oh, it's negative, blah, blah, blah. Instead of going, oh, that didn't work. That's okay. Mm-hmm. Because what you need to focus on is how you be better. How do you grow? I love that. Matt, ready? Can we give Matt a high five?
We can totally give
Matt
1, 2, 3,
high five. Woo! Yeah, there we go. That was so cheesy. I love it. Oh, goodness. Oh, Vic, love it, brother.
I think a lot of people, though, going back to that point, work on you, be a better you. They're always looking on the outside. They're always looking out. They're always looking
externally
at others and saying, how do I become that? Instead of how do I be the best me? Mm-hmm. How do I be different? How do I change? How do I meet people where they're at? How do I do things this way? And they're looking at, well, they do it this way, or they do it this way, or this is what I want to be like. And I think that we need to remember that while, yes, go get mentored, go follow somebody's lead, but take what they're saying and make it internalized within you, and not trying to wear their mold, because that's their mold, not your own. Make your own mold.
That's their calling. That's their DNA.
Yeah.
You have your. I love that, Lindsay. If you just tuned into the show, you just missed what Lindsay said. You need to rewind 1 minute, okay? Because what she said was absolute gold. This whole time we've been focusing on the external goals, objectives, people, and she said, "Great. I don't need you to be a carbon copy of them. I need you to take those best attributes, figure out how you can internalize them, so you can be a better you." Okay? And that is so. What you just said resonates so much.
It was profound.
With no, seriously. Well, what you said resonates so much with Pastor Keith's book, Your Divine Fingerprint. Like, he talks about that. Yes, you're close. Yes, you can go to this direction, but you still have your own fingerprint.
Yep.
Right? Who do you want to be with? Who do you want to be like? Who do you want to learn from? And now internalize it. Like you just said, create your own fingerprint. Right? Oh, Lindsay, that was so good. So good.
Thank you.
You want to know what? We're just going to end on that one. That was just so good. We're just going to pause.
And like we're
there we go.
38 minutes in.
We do have to get some kind of work done today. Because yesterday, what did we do? We left early.
We did.
And tomorrow, I'm not even going to be here. Except for the morning.
What do you mean? Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
We get to go to the lady doctor. Yay!
And the reason Nick is going to the lady doctor is because his wife's
with my
pregnant.
Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, we're
just
on
heard it, and I
YouTube
was
now,
like, wait a minute.
and we have an audience that does not actually like personally know me. My wife is pregnant. We're having our 4th kid. We're going to the lady doctor so she can go get checked.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna drive her so she's not stressed out because it's a long way. Goodness gracious. I just thank you, Lindsay. Thank you for being my counterbalance. I appreciate that. This is why if you're gonna have a show, you gotta have someone do it with you.
Yeah.
You gotta have a counterbalance, okay? You just do. It makes life awesome. Awesome. So hey, it's Tuesday. Lindsay, Big 3, post is up.
The post is up.
Great.
I have not made my comments
It's
yet.
okay. It's okay. I need to go in and make my comments too. So go ahead, drop your big 3. It's Tuesday. Make sure that you're finishing up one of your big 3 so that you're able to get started on your second one. And here's why. Friday, we're going to leave work early.
Again.
Like that should be Nick's thing. Like, I want a t-shirt that says I leave work early, and on the back it says because Nick said so. Right? And people be like, why do you get to leave work early? Well, there's this guy named Nick and he told me I could. So if you have a problem, go talk to him.
Yeah, he makes his kids do push-ups. It's totally
right. Yes, my kids do push-ups. So no turn up Tuesday though. Just goodness gracious. Matt's just lit up the comments right now. It's so great because it's like we have this rotating audience. Like, some audiences are here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and other audiences are here on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yep.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I just love it. I love our audience. And thank you guys for joining us on Facebook and YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, come on over and join us on Facebook and YouTube. Can we just not go in on Fridays? Matt,
That's your choice.
That's your choice.
Priority,
That's your
Matt.
choice.
Yeah.
But you want to know, if you need to blame me for not showing up on Friday, blame me for not showing up on Friday. I'm going to get all kinds of phone calls from employers. What do you mean you told my employee they didn't have to come to work today? Goodness. So we love you guys. Being in the comments and liking the videos is how we know that you're here with us. It's also how we know to pray for you, okay? It's how we know to pray positive and just that things work in your favor. So we love you guys. Today is Tuesday, and I want you guys to
Rise up
and crush it.
Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
y'all.